everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the final Disney park in the My Perfect Park Day series, which is of course Animal Kingdom. You can tell by my Simba ears that I'm wearing today, and we're going to spend a virtual day in the Animal Kingdom. I'm going to let you know everything that I would do, in what order, just all the perfect things that I love to do in that park. So we're going to get straight into it. And as with all of the other parks, we have been staying at Pop Century, so we're going to assume that's where we're staying for this day. And when you're going to Animal Kingdom, other than if you're driving your own car, there is one way that you are going to be getting to the park, and that is by bus. Because Animal Kingdom is the only park that doesn't have any Skyliner or monorail access or boats or anything like that. So other than your own car, you will be getting on your bus to go to the Animal Kingdom. Of course you could get an Uber if you wanted to, but usually I would get a bus there. And whenever I arrive at Animal Kingdom, it's one of the more laid back parks to me. On an Animal Kingdom day, I don't wake up necessarily feeling too rushed or like, oh my goodness, I have to get there for opening and there's all this craziness going on. It just feels very, very laid back, which I absolutely love. So I really like the approach as you're walking up to get into the park. It's always just really nice and not too crazy. And Animal Kingdom is such a unique park. When you walk in, it just does have that very, very laid back kind of feel to it. And it's just great. I absolutely love it. So as with the other parks, we are assuming that I have been able to get fast passes. So that's not a thing in the parks at the moment with the pandemic, but hopefully it will be returning. So assuming we've got our fast passes, the first thing I would actually do is go and get my coffee. This is another park where I really like to do that first. And I would head for the Starbucks location, which is called Creature Comforts in this park, which I love. It's quite a big location, so even if it's busy, you normally do get your coffee fairly quickly. Usually for breakfast in Animal Kingdom, I would just grab a pastry or something along with my coffee and take that outside. And if you can get a table outside, that is great, but there's not very many. So sometimes I just sit on the wall outside, or there are the kind of gardens over to the right hand side that you can just kind of take your coffee in there. That's actually what I did on my last trip. And Animal Kingdom, because there are all these kind of little areas you can walk off into, you're not necessarily stood in crowds or people rushing off to the attractions. There's plenty of places you can go to just kind of have your coffee, get ready for your day, because there is a lot that we're going to be doing in Animal Kingdom. So once I've had my coffee, we're going to assume that it is time for our first fast pass. As I said in one of the other videos, I do always like to try and book my fast passes as early in the day as possible, and then you can always get some others later in the day if you want to. So we're going to assume that the first one that we're going to be doing is Kilimanjaro Safaris, and that's actually not very far from the Starbucks location, so that's perfect. And this is one of my absolute favourite things to do in the Animal Kingdom. I think for most people it is as well. It's just such a great attraction, and it's different every single time. You don't always see the same animals. Sometimes you'll really luck out and have an encounter where you see the giraffes up close or some of the other animals. It's just absolutely amazing. The cast members are great on this ride because they obviously talk you through everything as you are going around seeing the animals, and I just absolutely love it. It's not a complete trip to the Animal Kingdom without doing the safari, so 100% that would be my first fast pass and the first thing that we do. And when you actually exit that ride, you're really close by then for the Gorilla Falls trail. So the walking trails in Animal Kingdom are something that can easily get overlooked. Often people are running to attractions and rides and stuff like that, but I really, really do recommend going through the walking trails. So while I'm there, I would do that particular one. And again, in terms of animal encounters, sometimes you see the animals more up close than other times. It just depends on the time of the day and what's going on, but it's always good to have a walk through, and usually you can at least see some of the animals. And earlier in the day as well, I tend to find it's not too busy on these walking trails because most people are running to attractions, so it's a really good time to do that as well. And one of my favourite things on this walking trail are the naked mole rats. I love them. I could stand there and watch these little guys for hours. They're just really, really funny. So definitely that would be next on the agenda. So after we've done that, I would be heading towards the kind of Asia section of the park, and on the way there I would definitely take some photos. When you exit the Gorilla Falls trail, if you go straight on and then kind of head to the left, you're going to come across a really great photo spot for the Tree of Life. wildlife. There's often a photo pass photographer there, but there's several great locations along there where you can take your own photos. So I take some time to definitely get some pictures around there. So as we enter the Asia area of the park, you will see Yak and Yeti is there and various other things, but we are heading to check out the monkeys. I love monkeys, they're my favourite animal, and I love just checking in and watching them for a little while. They're very, very cute to watch. They've got a huge area there, so you can just kind of walk all the way around and see what they are up to. That's one of my favourite things to do. And once we've done that, I would head towards Everest. Now, I do ride Everest sometimes. I do get a little bit scared on that ride. As you know, I'm a bit of a wimp, but I do ride it sometimes. I definitely do. And usually whoever I'm traveling with, they really do like that attraction. So we would head round to there. I would possibly ride it. If I don't, then I would just kind of take some pictures while my travel companion does Everest. But it's a great attraction. I probably wouldn't have a fast pass for it. Maybe the person I'm traveling with would, but there's also a single rider line, so you can usually get onto the attraction without too much of a wait if you go in the single rider line. So once we've done that, we would carry on around past where the Nemo show was, I should say. It's not actually there at the moment, and head into Dino Land, because the next attraction we're going to be doing is definitely Dinosaur. I really love Dinosaur. It is actually quite intense. I always find in between times riding it, I forget how intense it is. It's in the dark as well, and normally if I try and vlog on that attraction, I literally feel like I'm going to lose the camera because it really does kind of throw you around. But it's really, really good fun. If you are scared of like darkness, dinosaurs and being thrown around too much, then it may not be for you. But I do really like it, and it's something that I normally get a fast pass for. So I should have mentioned that this would be my second fast pass attraction, would be Dinosaur. And once we've done that ride, to be honest, I don't normally spend an awful lot of time in Dino Land. It's not one of my favourite areas of the park, so we probably exit that area, head back towards the kind of main entrance area and go into the stores there. As I've said in other videos, I don't really like doing that right at the end of the day because everybody else is also doing that before they exit the park. So I would now take just a little bit of time to browse the two main stores that they have there, which is Island Mercantile, and I have forgotten the name of the other one. It's completely escaped my mind, so I will put it on the screen. But those two stores that they have at the park entrance are huge. There's so much to see in there. All of the merch you could possibly want to find: magic bands, phone cases, mugs, apparel, everything, ears, they have all of it. So I would definitely have a good look around there. And while we were in that general area, I'm really hoping, since this is our perfect day, that we would run into Kevin. I absolutely love running into Kevin in Animal Kingdom. She is so awesome, and very often this is the kind of area where you will get to see her. And she's not sort of a normal meet and greet in the way that you kind of stand and take pictures necessarily. She just kind of wanders around, and it's just amazing. I don't think at the moment, with everything that's been going on, that she's been around, but again, we're kind of assuming things are back to normal, and hopefully around that point we definitely would run into Kevin. So from there we're going to head back into the Asia area of the park, because we're now going to assume that it's time to eat. And normally when I'm in Animal Kingdom, I make an early-ish reservation in the day for the one and only Yak and Yeti. You guys know I love that restaurant. Every time I go to Animal Kingdom, I have to go in there. The theming is great. It's really, really good. And with Animal Kingdom always feeling so hot, I don't know if anyone else feels this, but it's always hot in Florida for the most part. But for some reason, when you're in Animal Kingdom, it just feels even hotter than anywhere else. I don't know what it is. So Yak and Yeti is an amazing place to stop for lunch because you've got air conditioning, and it's a table service restaurant, so you can take some time and have a good sit down. If you don't have a reservation, you can either put your name down for a walk up, although depending how busy they are, there can be quite a long wait for a table. And they do also have seating at the bar, and that's just kind of first come first served. So if there's a space at the bar, you can sit there and obviously have a drink, but you can also eat at the bar. So I do that sometimes, especially if I'm on my own, because it's much easier to get a seat. But normally I would try and book a reservation. And you know, definitely one thing that I would be ordering is the wok fried green beans, which are back on the menu. They went away during the pandemic and I was very panicked, but they are back, and they're so good. I can highly recommend ordering those. They're just one of my favourite things to eat in all of Walt Disney World, and yeah, definitely that would be my place to stop off for for lunch. So once we're done eating lunch, we are going to head over to one of the newer areas of the park, which is of course Pandora. And when they announced this for Animal Kingdom, at first I was kind of like, oh, is that weird? Is that very Disney? Like, I'm not really kind of getting that. But I think most people will agree it's such an incredible area of Animal Kingdom. It fits perfectly with the theming. It's just stunning, especially at night. I would say if you go to Animal Kingdom during the day on your trip, do try and get there when it's dark. I know it's had very short hours at the moment, so sometimes the park has been closing at 5, but for the most part it's open later if things are kind of back to normal, and it's just beautiful going through that area at night. It's like a must do, I would say, so definitely try and make sure you do that. But obviously at this point it's during the day. It's also awesome during the day, so we would head into there, definitely take lots of photos, have a general wander around. They have a store in that area which is dedicated to Pandora kind of merchandise, so it's a little bit different than the other locations maybe that you can do some shopping in the rest of the park, so I would highly recommend heading in there. And I would also pick up a Night Blossom, which is a kind of slushy drink that they have there. It tastes amazing, it's so good. I think it's like pear is the kind of flavour. I don't know if there's another flavour in there, and they also have those little popping pearl things on top which are great. So I definitely have one of those. And then we would head over to ride Navi River Journey. Now I don't normally get a fast pass for this. How things work with fast pass before is you could only have one for Navi River Journey or for Flight of Passage, but not both. So I would always get my fast pass for Flight of Passage and ride Navi River Journey in the standby line. It does still get kind of long waits sometimes, but it's not usually too bad. Certainly not as bad as the wait for Flight of Passage. And it's just such a beautiful ride. Again, you're getting that experience of Pandora at night because it is a dark ride. You're just very casually drifting through on a boat though, so it's not a thrill ride. So anyone who doesn't like anything that's, you know, too full on, Navi River Journey is amazing, and the effects that they have in there are just great. It's so good, and the animatronic at the end, it really is something else. Like, it has to be seen to be believed. It's amazing. So I would definitely ride Navi River Journey, and that would hopefully have given my Yak and Yeti lunch time to go down slightly before our next attraction, which is Flight of Passage. So this would be our third fast pass of the day. And I always talk about how Haunted Mansion in the Magic Kingdom is my favourite attraction overall, which it definitely is, but my favourite ride is Flight of Passage. I absolutely love this ride. The first time I ever rode this attraction, I did actually have tears. Like, it was that good. I was so blown away by it. It's just absolutely amazing. I love it so much. And the queuing area is really cool as well. There's like a pre-show and stuff, so there's things to kind of go through before you actually get onto the attraction, which is good because it does sometimes have quite a long wait, so that sort of breaks it up a little bit. And I would definitely recommend trying to get a fast pass if you can. I know that it is quite difficult to get a fast pass. Like I said, you can't get one at all at the moment, but if it does come back, it can be quite tricky if you are not really on it trying to book that fast pass when the window opens up. If you haven't managed to get one, I would maybe try and ride it either first thing in the morning, although bear in mind a lot of people will be doing the same thing, or last thing at night. And sometimes just before the park closes, it does show that it's still got quite a long wait time, but actually it's not too bad. So that would be my other tip, is to try it right at the end of the day if you haven't managed to get yourself that fast pass. But yeah, Becky especially loves it as well. Like, everyone I ever travel with loves it, but we're just obsessed with that ride. So that would definitely be the next thing that we would do. And once we were done riding the attraction, we would definitely just have a bit more of a look around the area, get all the pictures that we want to get. And then I would take the exit out of Pandora, which will bring you out over by the Lion King show. So the Lion King show went away obviously during the pandemic, but it is coming back. It's not back yet, and I don't think we have a date for when it's back, but they have said that it will be coming back, and it's such a great show. It's one of my favourite shows to see in all of Disney World. I think it's so well done. So definitely we would do the next show. If we had to wait around for a little bit, that's fine. If you don't have a fast pass for it, then it's absolutely fine. You can still get in and see it, but it's really great quality. Like, the singing is amazing, the performers are just great. So 100% on our perfect day, seeing the Lion King show would have to be done. And from there, we're kind of in the right area to head back over towards the Safari and Gorilla Falls trail, because the other thing that's over there is Rafiki's Planet Watch. And you do have to get the little train over to Rafiki's Planet Watch, which is cute in itself, just a nice little mode of transportation to get there. And the area has kind of changed over the years. They do have the affection section where you can go and pet the animals, which we do like to do. Again, that's probably not a thing at the moment, but hopefully that will come back. But they now do have the experience inside the building where you can draw a Disney character. And you used to be able to get a fast pass for this. I'm assuming though that you can just walk up as well. It kind of carries on throughout the day, so you might have to wait a little bit for one session to finish before you can then go in. But it's really great. I drew one of the characters from A Bug's Life when I was there, and it's just a really relaxing thing to do. Again, it's perfect to get out of the heat. It's a slightly longer experience, so it kind of gets you out of the heat, sitting down and just kind of taking a break while still experiencing something. So definitely I would go and do that. So after I'm done with that, I would head back on the train to the main part of the park, and from there I would go over to Maharaja Jungle Trek. So this is the other kind of walking trek that you can do to see animals in the park. Sometimes you get to see tigers on this trek, which is amazing. It's really tucked away kind of behind Yak and Yeti and next to the entrance to Kali River Rapids, so it's easy to miss it if you don't actually know it's there. And sometimes I would say you see slightly less animals on this trek than you do over at the Gorilla Falls trail, but it's still a great place to kind of take a bit of a break. It's not normally too crowded, so if you are finding the main part of the park quite crowded, these treks are just a perfect place to kind of get away from that a little bit and take a bit of time out. But the whole area is really beautiful to walk through. But as I was saying before, these areas of the park can be very overlooked, so it's always a good idea to head over there, because sometimes you do just get such a great experience, especially seeing the tigers there is amazing. So once we've done that, I think it would be time to get some ice cream. Again, it's very hot in the Animal Kingdom, and one place I love to get ice cream is over in Dino Land. I believe it's called Dino Bites, I think, the little place to get ice cream, but they quite often have like sundaes that you can get. Lisa and I love that. Lisa is obsessed with ice cream. All my different travel buddies have different snack preferences, and when Lisa's there, is all about ice cream. Like if any ice cream needs to be tested or shown in the vlogs or anything like that, Lisa's all over it, and she is the person I'm actually planning to go to Disney with next, fingers crossed. So yeah, we would definitely head there and get some ice cream because it's really, really good. And while I was doing that, I probably would just check the My Disney Experience app to see if there are any fast passes that I wanted to pick up, either for attractions that I've already done, or you can try and get something else. But definitely do remember to check the My Disney Experience app once you've used your 3 fast passes, because you can sometimes pick up really good ones. And even though things like Flight of Passage do go very quickly when you're booking ahead of time, some people do cancel on the day, so it has been known for you to be able to pick up a Flight of Passage fast pass during the day, which would be really, really good. I'm not going to assume that that would happen. That seems a little too perfect, but obviously if there was one, I would definitely snap that up. And once we were done eating our ice cream, I would definitely head over to the Tree of Life, right at the front of it, to take some photos. Again, there's usually photo pass photographers there. You can take your own photos. You might see Kevin again, which would be great. But I just spent a little bit of time around the main entrance, kind of taking all of that in. And by the time we've done all that, it would be getting towards the end of the day at the Animal Kingdom. They do have a lot shorter hours in that park, especially at the moment. So like I was saying, it has been closing at around 5. Normally it's open a little bit later than that. And again, if it's at night, we once did one of the after hours events at Animal Kingdom, and it's just such a nice park to walk around at night, take some pictures and all that kind of thing. And they do have the projection show on the Tree of Life, which is really, really nice, and that just kind of keeps running. There's no particular kind of schedule, the same way that there would be for fireworks and stuff. So depending what time of year it is, whether it's open later, whether it's dark, I don't know, we definitely would watch that little projection show as well if that's happening. And from there, something I think I would do if it was my perfect day in the Animal Kingdom to round out my day is actually then head out of the park over to Animal Kingdom Lodge. Now, Animal Kingdom Lodge is such a beautiful resort, and because it's not on the monorail loop, it's not on the Skyliner route, it's very, very easy to never see it unless you're staying there, but it's such a stunning hotel. The lobby when you walk in is incredible. You can actually see animals there as well. There are viewing areas, even if you're not a guest in the hotel, hotel. You can look out over the savannas. It really is worth a visit to Animal Kingdom Lodge just to kind of experience it. So I think that's probably what I would do, is just jump on a bus over to Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that would actually be my location for dinner on this particular day. And one restaurant that I love going to there is Jico. I haven't done it for quite a long time. I believe it may have been closed recently, again due to the pandemic. It is a signature restaurant, so it's a little on the pricier side, but really good food there. The servers were great there when we went, and I think that would just be such a nice end to my Animal Kingdom day. And if you're not looking for signature dining at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they definitely have other options. They have the Mara, which is quick service. Boma is great as well. They also have Sonar over at Kidani Village, which is just across the way. That's the DVC building, but they do have that restaurant as well, which I know a lot of people really like. So once you're kind of done with your day at the park, you can definitely go over to Animal Kingdom Lodge just to kind of experience that and get the whole kind of Animal Kingdom experience. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, because the park itself and Animal Kingdom Lodge are just that little bit further away than everything else, and they're not on the Skyliner or the monorail route. They are kind of out there on their own a little bit, so it's good to kind of spend the whole day experiencing that. And if you would rather, some people in the middle of the day in the Animal Kingdom, if it gets super hot, some people would go and take their break and go and see Animal Kingdom Lodge during the day and actually go for lunch over there. That's another option if you would prefer that, but I think I would probably do it the other way around and head there to round out my day. And that would be my day in Animal Kingdom. There's definitely other things that I love doing there, other snacks that I would have, but you definitely can't do it all in one day. So let me know in the comments below, what do you love to do at Animal Kingdom? What are your favourite snacks, your favourite dining options, attractions? What would you have as your first passes? Let me know. It's just such a great park. It's very unique. There isn't another Animal Kingdom in any of the other Disney resorts throughout the world. It's a little bit like Epcot in that respect. It's very unique, and it really is just such a great park. And I've said before as well, when I'm on solo trips, it for some reason is just one of the best parks to wander around if you're solo. I don't know why, it just feels very chilled and a nice place to be. So let me know what your perfect day would look like. And like I said in last week's video, although I've now done all 4 of the Disney parks, I will be doing a perfect day over at Universal as well, so that will be next week. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell icon to make sure that you have notifications turned on, then you'll always know when I've uploaded a video. And as always, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you for continuing to support the channel by watching these videos, liking, commenting, subscribing. On that note, do give this a like if you did enjoy it, because it does help other people find the video. But I really appreciate all of your support, both here and over on Patreon, Instagram, everywhere. It really does mean so much to me. And if anyone's looking for more content, we do also have a podcast over on Patreon, so I will link that in the description as well. And I hope you guys are all okay and staying safe and hanging in there. Anyone who has Disney trips booked, let's just keep our fingers crossed that things will go well in the next few months, and at some point we'll be able to return to the parks, because I am very excited to do that and create some new vlogs for you all. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.